Next, we have the fabulous, very funny, very talented, one of my favorite comedians, DC Malone, coming up.
Holy shit, I'm good. Where'd that come from? I just got this last Christmas. My wife told me she was pregnant and the house was full of joy. We're gonna go have an ultrasound to find whether girl or boy. My whole world's rosy. That's until I find my wife. She's been sleeping around. That sucker isn't mine. That bitch, that bitch, that bitch, that bitch, that bitch, that awful bitch. That bitch, that slut, that whore, that bitch, that awful bitch. That bitch, that bitch. What do you think? Too bitter? God bless you, me love. Here's to the woman in the little red shoes. She doesn't have a cherry and she's got the blues. She may not have a cherry, but that's no sin, because she still got the box that the cherry came in.
Showtime. He's also been on Bob and Tom and Dr. Demento.
Very proud of that.
I know. Dr. Demento goes like way back.
Oh yeah, since the '60s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I did a couple of songs on there, and that is like the biggest thrill. You know, some comics say Johnny Carson. No, no, Dr. Demento. I'm sorry, I was on the Dr. Demento show. So yeah, and that's really good. They send you their you know their set list, you know, with your name on it and where they played you in rotation, and we were just underneath Weird Al.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just right underneath. That's exciting. What year would you say that this was probably?
Oh, this is about 6 years ago. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 6-7 years ago.
So you were a duo.
Malone and Nucci's. Yeah,
yes.
For 24 years.
I heard about you guys actually.
You never saw us.
I never saw you guys together. No, I know you.
Yeah.
I mean, because we've worked together.
Well, we split up. We got together in 1972. Actually, we were street musicians in Toronto, Canada, and I was 16, and he was 17, and I've been on the road since I was 14. You know, yeah, and we just met each other on the street, Yonge Street in Toronto, and we started playing, and it was immediate. I mean, we shared a brain from the very beginning. And we were just able to read each other so well. It's just amazing. It's really amazing. And so yeah, we didn't start doing comedy professionally until 1978, and then from '78 on, and then he retired in 2001. His wife actually wanted him to, you know, because I had a major meltdown when I went to LA. I couldn't take LA.
That happens.
Yeah.
That's not why I'm not there anymore.
A lot of people can't take it.
I'm like,
you know,
I have to get out for a while. I can't breathe. It's too hot here. I'm in hell.
Had I had a never-ending, you know, bottle of Valium, I probably could have done it, but it was just too much for me. And so his wife and I understand that they had 3 kids, you know, and he was missing a lot of stuff being on the road, and we were on the road. We were road warriors, you know, from the very beginning, and so she asked him to quit, and you might know his wife actually, Yoko Nucci's. I joke. No, that's my when comedians ask where he went, but no. And then I started doing it on my own since 2001. Yeah, and so headlining for 34 years almost.
Wow. Okay, and so now you have a musical background, being a comedian, I know that marijuana must have played somewhere in your life.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously.
Most of it.
Most of your life.
I had to quit smoking pot though because it got too strong for me. I'm one of those guys. I have such a low tolerance for tetracycline. I do. I mean.
You're a cheap date.
Yeah. Oh man, one puff.
One puff, and
but not like the old days.
See, I could hang out with you because you wouldn't be like smoking on my stash.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not kidding. People actually stash their shit at my house because they know that I won't. Oh, don't lean forward. Okay, thank you, Mr. Producer.
That was Rupert Declo. That's the infamous Rupert Declo.
Yeah, but anyway, people used to stash their stuff at my house because they knew I wouldn't smoke it. But back in the old days, when I first started smoking pot, it was great because it was that great Mexican dirt weed, Panama Red, Acapulco Gold.
So these are names that I feel like the old, like an older generation, like a younger generation. Like I didn't start smoking marijuana until like about 6 years ago, believe it or not. Like
Yeah.
I'm a total late like, oh, midlife. I go, oh, I think I might toke now. There's something else to life. I don't know.
That's the best time to start, I think.
I did it sometimes, with comics or whatever, but I wasn't. But Acapulco Gold was something that was. Is it hard to find now? I think it might be hard to find.
Yeah, I don't know if it even exists anymore. I mean, that's how far out of the loop I am. But
it sounds like it should go with like a certain beer or something.
Oh, but I mean, the smell was so definitive, and I mean, the taste and the smell was so definitive. I just remember it so well. But I was living in Canada when I first started turning on to pot and hallucinogens and anything else that was. I mean, I was in 8th grade, and the 60s were almost over, and I mean,
you lived through that time when there was where marijuana was kind of
and very self-aware too. I mean, for a young kid, I was like ahead of my years, and I got turned on in 7th grade actually in the backfield of my junior high school. And then when I moved to Canada, Toronto to be exact, and they didn't have a lot of pot in Toronto back then. They had a lot of hash. Oh my dear God.
Oh wow.
And everyone was smoking hash. Everybody was taking huge chunks of hash and putting it on the end of a pin, lighting with a lighter, and until it became a flame, and putting it under a glass. And then the glass would fill with smoke, and then you'd suck the smoke out with a straw. And a hash buzz. Maybe that's because I started smoking hash before I actually smoked a lot of pot. I was used to the hash buzz, which is more of like a body buzz than pot. When
when it goes into the head area.
Oh yeah. And I can't. Like nowadays.
The body part scares me more sometimes. The head part, I like to examine.
No, I'm just the opposite. I have to be in control. Somewhat in control. I mean, I have to be able to talk.
Oh yeah.
And the pot now is so strong that one hit, and I take a hit from time to time. And the pot now though, it's just it's so. I got one hit, and I just go. Time to go to my room. No more communication. No more anything. It's just too strong for me.
I wonder if it has to do with if you are doing a indica or if you're smoking a sativa, because for me a sativa, which is I prefer, or a hybrid, is it gives you more of it's more of an upper, and so it's more where I can still be creative and speak and do whatever if you don't smoke too much of it. Some stuff kind of makes me go, for me personally, like I get really like my imagination just goes way too out.
Oh well, yeah.
I'm talking to God, I think, or something.
Well, one of two things happened for a while. I would either get completely paranoid, or I would become too wonderful for words. I mean, I was like omnipotent. I was like the omnipotent comic, and no matter where I was at some party, or I would launch into some tirade or a rant, and I would just go. I remember one time at a party, and I smoked a half of a joint with this other guy, and there was a little Pekingese dog, and I remember talking to these people and picking the dog up. Goes, I have a dog full of urine and I know how to use it, so back off. People were, and they were backing off. Actually, they were frightened, but yeah, it was just always too much. I mean, I could do acid, and that was okay. Cocaine was actually my drug of choice, in the 70s and 80s. I mean, that's why I was like, that made me feel like God. Actually,
well, I think it made a lot of people feel like God.
Yeah.
Cocaine was one of those kind of drugs where was popular in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I tried it. I'm not gonna lie. I've done coke before.
Oh yeah.
But it was one of those kind of things where I went, oh my God, I can't. I like this too much. I can't. I shouldn't be doing it.
And nice that you could delineate that. You could say I like this too much. I don't want to do it anymore.
I don't want to do more. Now my question is, before we take the break, how much when you were growing up, like how much did weed cost then? Like how did you
get what we call a 4-finger lid, a lid of pot, for $20.
4-finger lid.
Yeah, for $20.
For $20.
Yeah, and that and there's a lot of seeds and stems, but but it lasts a long time. But the thing is, you could smoke the whole bag, and just laugh and get hungry and like one of my favorite lines from a film, I Love You, Alice B. Toklas, Peter Sellers.
Oh, I need to see that.
It's hilarious. And Peter Sellers gives up the whole corporate world and becomes a hippie.
Oh.
And his parents accidentally turned on to pot via brownies, and they're really conservative. You know, I think Jewish parents. They were portraying them as Jewish parents, but anyway, they do these brownies, and all of a sudden they're like the mother and father exploring each other. You know, like, thank God not naked, but. And then they start laughing, and all of a sudden the mother goes, "Let's play miniature golf," you know. And that's what the buzzes were like back then. It was like all laughing, touching, and let's go play miniature golf, you know.
Yeah.
But now it's just I couldn't function. How comics can smoke pot and get on stage, I don't know, and I respect them because it just. I would never.
It might be that they had to take those awful drugs like Ritalin and stuff like that, and their brain chemistry is wired weird. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking that maybe there might be something a little bit different. But we do need to take a break, and I want to come back. I know you have your guitar, so maybe you'll play a song with us at the break.
I could.
Okay.
I
might. All right. We're with DC Malone, and we're going to take a quick break and watch some more DC Malone.
Because the first time you hear your lover fart is a very important part of your relationship. It can be horrifying and humorous at the same time. I'll never forget the first time my ex ever heard me. She was still my fiance at the time, and I had flown her into Vegas from Detroit. And we did the whole thing, the morning, the tourist stuff, a little gambling, and then back up to the room about 5 o'clock to rest up for the show. She's laying up on the bed watching TV, and I'm still at the point in the relationship where I'm trying to impress her. So I'm laying on the floor with my feet under the bed doing sit-ups. Yeah, that's over now. But on my fourth sit-up, I'm coming up Maybe she didn't hear it. But then all of a sudden, this little face comes over the side of the bed. What the fuck was that? Yeah, and she was laughing. And I go, okay, my farts amuse her. Game on.
Stand-up comedian DC Malone and musician. I mean, you're just as much as accomplished musician.
Well, yeah, I have a band here, hereabouts, DC Malone and the Jones, which people can check out on Facebook. Also, there's I think there's videos on YouTube, DC Malone and the Jones. Old, you know, we do cover stuff, but it's very eclectic, very mixed bag, a little bit of everything, you know. So.
Well, I know, and I've actually opened for you and your band before. I had a great time, and your band was great, and
everyone loved you.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Anytime, you know. But you brought your guitar, and so would you be willing to play a song for us today?
Well, I can mess around a little bit.
Okay.
I've been working on a song about pot, about how. Oh, I always thought there was a thing here about how it. Sorry, didn't mean to hit the microphone. But I didn't get to the pot song. But there was a great song by Reverend Gary Davis called "Cocaine," not the Eric Clapton version, ladies and gentlemen, but Reverend Gary Davis, written back in the late '30s, early '40s, back before he was a reverend. And Reverend Gary Davis, I saw him at the Mariposa Folk Festival, 1972. And he came on. He was so drunk. He would try to start a song, and he would stop, and the band would stop, and then he would try to start again, 3-4 times, and finally he stops, looks at the audience, he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, don't ever drink tomato wine, 'cause you'll be drunker the second day than you was the first." And everybody just gave him a standing ovation. He managed to get into it. I'll just do this one verse that I love so much. Cocaine is for horses, not for men. The doctor said it'd kill me, but he never did say when. Cocaine, cocaine, running all around my brain. Come here, Mary, Come here, Sue. I got a little cocaine here for you and a big pile left over for me. Say cocaine, cocaine, running all around my brain. Play, good idea. The producer reminded me of a song.
Play a little Reefer Man.
Yeah.
Remember Declo's on. He's on point today.
He's amazing. Have you ever seen that funny Reefer Man? Have you ever seen that funny Reefer Man? Well, he sells you dimes for nickels, tells you watermelons is pickles. You know you met that funny Reefer Man. Have you ever met that funny Reefer Man? Have you ever met that funny Reefer Man? Well, he says he walks to China, tries to sell you North Carolina. Well, you know you met that funny Reefer Man.
Yay! Oh, thank you. Oh, I love it. So now you saw in live concert one of my heroes, John Lennon, with Yoko Ono and
Ann Arbor Hash Bash.
Yeah, and
actually, it was the Freedom Rally for John Sinclair. 1971.
Wow.
Very chilly in the stadium. It was December, I believe. And what a concert! What a concert! And I was really too young to listen to the hyperbole of all the political people. I mean, I knew it was about pot, and I thought, well, yeah, right on, but everyone was there to see John Lennon.
Yeah.
But wow, I mean, all the other people that were there, although I'm not a really huge fan of Detroit, Bob Seger was there, of course, because he's from Detroit. And Stevie Wonder showed up, which was very cool. But who's Commander? I remember Commander Cody was there, and I remember Commander Cody because that great Hot Rod Lincoln, that song that he did. I know you probably don't remember it because it's before your time.
Well.
But yeah, what a concert! And I was 14 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was wandering around in all this, and then Lennon came on. It was just, and like at one point everybody's like cheering, and then it was like the softer songs. The song that.
Imagine?
No. It was Working Class Hero.
Oh, I love that song.
It was like dead silence. It was just amazing with all the people that were there. But yeah, it was quite a concert.
Now, just so the listeners might not, or it's not viewers. I used to be on the radio. I go listeners, viewers, people out there with eyeballs. The story is that John Sinclair was a White Panther Party member who gave 2 joints to an undercover police
10 years.
And got 10 years. And then John Lennon came to his aid and sang a song about him, and then he was released the next day.
Well, and it was what's really funny is that because I heard about. They were going to pay Lennon. They're going to pay him $500, and he, and he said no, thank you. I just put it towards the fund, and so he did it for free.
Wow.
And came in, but
impressive. I mean, I like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, he's an advocate himself. Something he could do, Lennon could do, and it was so impromptu too. The fact that he was in Toronto before doing his bed-in, for peace with Yoko, and which is
brilliant.
Give Peace a Chance was recorded in the hotel room.
Love that. Yeah. I've seen that clip's on YouTube. I
watch it all the time. Did you ever notice Tommy Smothers?
Yeah, I did. I go, damn, Tommy Smothers.
Well, Tommy Smothers is such a head.
Oh.
I mean, he, and I'm sure even today he's still a big pot smoker. And
I didn't know that.
I'm not trying to out you. But he's such a delightful person, and
Smothers Brothers, they were revolutionary. They got nixed because of like the stuff that they were doing.
My biggest influence was the Smothers Brothers. Well, musical comedy first of all, and my partner and I, we had the same sort of interchange that Smothers Brothers did. Although, as my partner said, there was no one Tommy and no Dickie. Sometimes he was Dickie and sometimes I was Dickie. So the straight man role would switch from back and forth depending on what bit we were doing. But
that's cool.
Big influence.
There's not that many duos out anymore.
No, because they can't.
Because we're all so egotistical.
Well,
we're
that's not it.
It's just me.
No one will pay. No one will pay a team. I mean, a team could get out there, but they couldn't live on what a team would make now.
Nah.
I mean,
I didn't think
Hampton and
about
I, my partner and I, we were there at the very beginning. When comics were rock and roll stars. You know, there were clubs that were not only paying good salaries, but they were paying your airfare. They were picking you up at the airport in limousines, or at least you know, someone. Yeah, take a cab.
No, they're like, get out of the way. Yeah, get out of the way while we serve our drink.
Take a cab. And, okay, yes, you can bring the receipt to the club. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. You know, for those of you, I'm not a diva. I'm not a bitch. But yeah, it was definitely a lot different back in that.
God, I wish I worked at Arrow. I started out when it was closing out. You know what? We ran out of time, but I really thank you for coming on the show. It's always really great to see you.
It was wonderful.
And I know that we're going to cross paths again.
Oh, we will.
Sure,
well,
yeah.
You know, all I got to do is call.
Right.
And you'll be there. Yes, you will. I got a friend.